number one between NAVI Junior and BetBoom. Let's see how this one goes. Again, BetBoom heavy favorites going into this one. NAVI Junior, the underdogs, looking to prove a point here on day number 2. It's hard not to root for the young lads either, isn't it, John? Yeah, you always want to see the young ones perform well.
That you do. And again, this squad has shown a lot of promise, especially in the qualifiers. They've had some really deep runs. They've gotten to a couple of events beforehand. They've done decently online. So I want to see if that carries over onto the LAN setting. I want to see if, again, their ideas are fresh enough up against what BetBoom has. Because for BetBoom, this is really straightforward. You've got the GPK Tiny. You've got the matchups that are relatively stable here for BetBoom. You've got the Ringmaster for save to get his big saves on. And you've got this tempo that Pure is going to be bringing out if he does have that decent lane on the Ursa, which theoretically he shouldn't have too bad of a time as long as he's not kited around. So it's going to be interesting to see that clash of youth and experience here, mate.
Absolutely. Smoke on smoke. Neither team finding each other quite yet. Looks like they may run into each other at that bottom bounty rune spot. It's Niku and GPK both going to have their smokes broken. Nobody getting caught though, everyone going to be perfectly safe, and it looks like it'll be a 2-for-2 trade on the bounty rune. So a nice even start here between these two sides. Of course, while we're around, I suppose you talk about the mid lane, John. You've got a DK versus a Tiny matchup. I still always feel like this favors the Tiny just purely based on CS because you do have the tree grab, but either way, I feel like both heroes are going to be just fine.
Yeah, it should be relatively even. I would say this is maybe a little bit better for Niku in terms of just having the Denies up. This is something DK excels at, just playing out his own creeps. You also do go Corrosive Dragon. GPK does get away with the first deny in last hit though, so it's going to set Niku back just a tad. Taking a look at that top lane for Pure. This is the lane where you shouldn't be held back too badly on the Ursa. Maybe by level 2, level 3, it does get annoying, right? Having to deal with Firestorm and the Pit of Malice. With some poke damage coming in, it can start to get a little bit slower. Zayat's already just looking for the pulls to get those levels up. On their end of things, not really too much contesting Kataromi can do. Does go for the Glaive of Wisdom's level 1, or block attacking is pretty devastating, and you know, that damage stacking up in Zayat's.
It's very annoying for Zayat. He's going to get the pull away eventually, but just has to burn through quite a bit of regen to sustain himself in this laning phase. Meanwhile, bottom lane, speaking of regen being expended, save falling extremely low, will be able to avoid the Astral Spirit of Riddies, although he's going to run into Got the Juice and actually wants to play a little bit aggressive because they do have the creep wave on the way. Very, very confident in his ability to be able to survive any kind of initiation there from Got the Juice and Riddies. And so it seems like, for now, NAVI Junior at the very least down at this bottom lane having a pretty good time. Mid lane's going pretty well. I think the off lane's probably going to be the hardest one for NAVI Junior, considering you have an Underlord versus an Ursa. But overall, you know, you make the stacks like we're seeing Zayats do now. Chances are you're going to be able to catch up pretty fast anyway.
That you should be. You've got some good heroes that can clear out as well. You probably really don't want to have to give that out to PMA, but he will have recovery if need be to get that aura up and running. Again, the lanes, as you mentioned there for NAVI Junior, looking clean. The mid lane starting to pull a little bit ahead for Niku. And it's just down to the fact you go Corrosive. Breathe Fire is going to be physical. You have 0 armor and Tiny. Every single time you Breathe Fire, it's a ton of HP from GPK. And Niku has the superiority in regen. Just by virtue of Dragon Blood being the way it is, the DK is going to be very hard to shove away from the lane, even though you do have some good damage there for GPK. I think the one concern is, if your lanes do go a little bit too slow on BetBoom, again, we talked about this in draft, but you're running a Doom and Ursa. Ursa does have some sharper timings, but even the Doom is going to need to sit back and build into some initial items first, so that puts a lot of pressure on GPK to try to make some connections happen. And you don't necessarily have the best supports to kind of rotate into. Right there, you've got Ringmaster Silencer. It's not the greatest follow-through in terms of control, as PMA is kind of isolated away here.
PMA, it's going to be alright by the looks of it. I mean, the chase is on from Kataomi. In fact, Kataomi's not giving up on this chase, and he actually gets it. The final right click proving to be enough. Kataomi already swiping himself away 1 intelligence. And a bit of an annoying death there for PMA, because again, this lane's not going to get easier. Like, you're going to be relying on stacks anyway, but you want at least the early XP so you can get those levels in Firestorm to clear out said stacks. And it doesn't really feel like that XP is going to be coming very easily at this top lane, especially considering Pure and Kataomi are already out-leveling PMA on the Underlord.
Yeah, it's not going to be a great time. We've seen Underlords play from behind. It's not a very pretty look. Your auras being stalled out is not great. You lacking EXP to get the value points up. And Atrophy is not going to feel great in terms of boosting everyone's durability by dropping damage. So the impact of Underlord is really cut down if you're not having that start that you're looking for. And Pure is off to an amazing start. 23 to 10 in terms of CS, getting that kill for himself, or helping set up that kill up top. Already off to a very good start. Curious to see if he'll just opt for the standard like Battle Fury build-up, or if he's going to go more aggressive, say a quicker blink, and just try to get on top of Furious a little bit faster. Should just be the Battle Fury, and then the scaling can really come in here. Side of BetBoom.
Zayats, yeah, he kind of got caught off guard there, thinking he wasn't being spotted in that tree line, but they did see him. And of course, Pure says, thank you very much, I'll take the kill.
Okay, I'll admit,
That's a concerning signs considering you're up against an Ursa. You don't want to give this extra gold away. But this off lane of NAVI Junior certainly going pretty horrendously at the moment.
That it is. It's again, probably the weakest lane out here for Navi. The matchups just don't feel great. They're going to have to play catch-up, which means you're going to have to feed those stacks away to PMA, which isn't ideal. You'd normally want to accelerate elsewhere. They are managing to start to find some aggression down bot. They're finding some trade backs here, although Save has to be careful.
Oh,
jeez.
Save! He thought he had it with the Fairy Fire, but he did not have enough. Underestimating the bonus damage from Riddies, and well, props to Riddies. He gets a kill.
First kill on the board for NAVI Junior. Not the biggest, but hey, you take what you can get. I think one other consequence of this top lane going slow is the level 6 of Zayats is also going to be stalled out. So your recall plays are going to be... It's not going to be there, which means, as well, you know, no recall plays, no chakra spam, and no early Fiend's Gate for some global ganks. In fact, speaking of ganks, they're lined up a bit in mid here.
6-minute power rune timings, of course. Kataomi going to try and ensure Niku does not get himself a rune, and he does not. Instead, Regen will be spotted out by Save. He will leave it. GPK will have the opportunity to go ahead and bottle that up, but he's trying to be as annoying as possible to Riddies, almost actually killing him off of that avalanche. And Riddies will make it out for now. And it looks like he'll be okay. Save shouldn't run into it. And so they do get away with that regen rune. Of course, you are looking at PMA just clearing out more and more stacks. The negative being, you know, you're not going to have these stacks for the tiny. Oh, excuse me, rather the DK or the gyrocopter is what I was meant to say there, John.
Yeah. And again, like, giving Underlord farm is important to, again, hit that tempo we were talking about, but not having that flash farm lined up for your bigger cores, it just stalls everyone's timings. It's not the best bit of news for the side of NAVI Junior. They're going to lose access to their Shrine of Wisdom as well. They're not in position to steal the other side. And they've got the juice along a tad bit.
Well, they certainly have. Riddies, meanwhile, bottom lane, also in danger, trying to protect his carry. He will survive because Got the Juice does kind of intervene. Save barely being able to jump away with that cushion. So everyone falling extremely low down to that bottom lane, but nobody actually ends up dying. Which is probably very good news if you're NAVI Junior, because it seemed like they were the ones that were supposed to die.
Yeah. But they, again, lose access to the Shrines of Wisdom, so both shrines going the way of BetBoom. Faster level 6 for, say, Kataomi and Save. It's going to be pretty massive in terms of getting control in these fights. And denying that EXP for, again, for a hero like Zayats on the Kotl, who hasn't had the greatest lane, has to go back and stack. You're just not going to hit those timings you want. And again, no access to recall. Kind of feels pretty bad for the Kotl. And not having that heal with Illuminate without the Spirit Form also just cuts you down. Pure is getting confident enough to just run into that line.
He looks like he's going to find PMA. PMA trying to run. Zayats actually keeps him alive just barely with the blinding light. So that's going to be PMA running away with about 20 HP on the Underlord. The issue is, like, even if he's alive, John, there's nowhere to farm for him. Got the juice. Oh, no. Well, this is where things get tough. Miero, he's got the Doom up. He just chases down the gyrocopter very quickly. Meanwhile, look at PMA. Kataomi's not leaving him alone. PMA probably going to be giving some more into way to Kataomi. And there you go. There's the third piece of in here for Karaomi, which is annoying because now this Underlord has 363 mana.
Yeah, it's not going to be the best. I believe he has a little bit more than that as he got some installing from the right click as one more goes.
Well, Zayat's also going to be giving some into her. Karaomi getting very smart.
And he is. I guess all he needs to do now is bank on that Tormentor shard to go his way, which, as we've seen, does tend to go towards the most annoying shard carriers possible. A 1-5 start, already looking good for BetBoom, of course, coming out from the lanes. There was a decent moment early on for NAVI Junior. They're trying to make an entrance onto Miero.
The call down's nice. Echo Stomp setup was perfect as well, and it seems like they will find Miero. Great rotation here from Na'Vi. Of course, with the Corrosive Dragon, they are going to start pressuring that bottom tier 1 tower, and they'll force out a glyph. Don't think there's too much reason to back off, though. Niku, of course, is just going to keep moving in to that tier 1, and it should just go down. It doesn't seem like there'll be any kind of contest here from BetBoom. I mean, they could try to pressure mid tier 1, but it doesn't really seem like they really have the numbers. So they just kind of let it go.
Yeah, a nice little take, and that should open up the map just a tad bit more, allow an invasion in triangle. They get the opportunity here for the side of NAVI Junior, although there are no stacks to really find. Pure still playing aggressively in that opposing triangle, clearing out some camps, not allowing any stacks to be built up. They're keeping track of the ancient stacks here as well. And Pure isn't too far off from his full Battle Fury. Just lacking the broadsword and around 600 gold on top of that for the full thing. And that's when, again, the game kind of opens up for the Ursa. You're still going to be waiting for the blink to really get aggressive, but you're going to have the damage to follow through. You're going to have a lot of damage if everyone's kind of clumped up, which is certainly a possibility for NAVI Junior if you're not too careful. And for NAVI Junior, I mean, the Aurora game is starting to come online. You're getting that build up now for PMA to go into the full mech. He's still wanting a soul ring because, again, he's lacking mana, considering how rough his lane was. You're slowly approaching the point where you will have at least your Elder Titan 6, but Zayats is the one that's really copping the short end. Still stuck at 4, a long way till his own 6 is up. And that's where the game really just hurts for NAVI Junior. Not having access to Spirit Form, not having access to Recall means you're not playing to the strength of this draft. BetBoom still set to run and gun with a little bit of a smoke out with GPK and save. Good scan will spot them out, but Got the Juice is still in the firing line if he's not too careful here.
Oh, he's going to TP. Very nice TP here from Got the Juice. Meanwhile, mid lane, Niku, he's going to jump in with his Blink Dagger up now. Karaomi actually not getting stunned here, or rather put to sleep, but slowly is still ticking away. Is going to survive on 25 HP, though, as now GPK comes in, and Niku, oh, Niku's in trouble. Got the Juice, he's going to try to move in and help out. It's a lot of damage. They'll still lose Niku. They'll get saved as the trade. Not the greatest trade in the world here for NAVI Junior, but they'll take it. They're still sticking around as well. They want to go for the tier 1 tower. Got the Juice, he's dropped very low, though. Is he just dead? Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's dead. Karaomi. Is he even going to die for this? He will. But you got to be happy if you're Karaomi.
That you are. He was the one that was initially jumped. Niku just not having enough to keep that chase down. Shows respect for potential rotations in, but just shows it a little bit too late. They don't manage to bail out on the disengage, and BetBoom, again, they're just finding everything they could ask for. Tier 1 still stands. They force all of those rotations onto mid. You're buying a ton of space out for Pure to maximize his incoming battle fear, which is there now. So the build-up for the Ursa starts to ramp up into that blink timing you tend to see, if not the BKB here. And for the side of NAVI Junior, the one big thing about that fight is that Zayats did soak some EXP. Right, so he does hit 6. He does have that Spirit Form up, and he will have access to Recall. I don't expect them to have Tormentor access on the side of NAVI Junior. If they can sneak that one in at 15 minutes, it could be a massive win to have those 2 Recall charges up. I do like seeing this from NAVI Junior. Like you mentioned, Niku has been taking the aggressive stance. He's trying to go out with a smoke with Ridis, just not finding anything for their trouble, but he is the only hero that's ready to play. Right? It's only the DK that's kind of set to make some action happen across the map with his blink. And he is trying his best to ensure that action does happen away from, say, your Gyrocopter and your Underlord. And, you know, he's confident enough that backup is there for the Fiend's Gate. So, doesn't quite find anything with his smoke, but the ideas are there. It's just that with that smoke not landing, BetBoom's just working the map better. Pure is farming up, Miero's doing what Miero does best in the jungle, building into that Blink Dagger next, has the Doom ready if they want to force something out. And BetBoom now with bigger smoke, they could catch some big fish if again, you're not prepared here on the side of NAVI Junior.
Well, they're barely going to miss out on these stacks being taken in the triangle. 3 or 4 stacks of Ancients now being taken by PMA. They'll get the Shrine of Wisdom. So the smoke doesn't amount to nothing. They are still getting all these shrines off the map, and it seems like PMA is thinking about jumping in, but GPK, he's the one to jump first. And PMA, even though he has been catching up, it's still a very slow process, and that death, it certainly does not help him out very much.
No, it doesn't. Pure getting the kill as well, accelerating that blink timing. Just about 300 gold off, has pressure onto the tier 2. Heck, they're looking at mid as well.
They are looking at mid. Zayat's caught out, will finally go down on the keeper. He's been standing there for the last 5 minutes, just constantly pushing out that mid wave. But they will take him out, no problem. And with that, T1 mid tower also set to fall. And so far, it's a relatively clean game from BetBoom, I want to say. Like, you are still having a decent time here for NAVI Junior. Like, you see got the juice, and of course, Niku are still farming very well on the DK and the Gyrocopter, respectively. Problem is, though, Pure is just kind of getting out of control, I think. And, of course, he only just picked up the Battle Fury a couple minutes ago, so chances are his farm isn't slowing down.
Miero?
Uh-oh.
Oh, great smoke
Miero.
break.
He does smoke break. He's going to be perfectly fine, too. They can't kill him that quickly. This could be a horrible fight now for NAVI Junior. Toss away from GPK on a Kataomi, just ensuring he makes it out. They did commit Global Silence, so it doesn't seem like BetBoom really want to continue this fight. NAVI, they also committed the Dragon form. They've committed the Fiend's Gate, even the Spirit form of the Coddle. So they are going to try for maybe a Tormentor, but BetBoom, they haven't backed off. They're waiting for this to see if they can jump in and steal it. Here comes BetBoom, got the juice, he's waiting in the corner. Is he in a wrong position? He is not. He's in the prime position. GPK's called out. GPK trying to fight. They'll drop the Will of Wonder. It could be exactly what they needed because Pure's in. Pure's in. He cleans up, got the juice. He's got readies. Can he deal with the rest of them? Niku jumps away. PMA's trying to get out, but he can't make it. It's the thing, like, you can deal with everybody else, but I think Pure's a bit too much already. He will miss out on Zayats there for a moment, but the chase continues. And it seems like Zayats should be the 4th death, as they will find him. In fact, they found even Niku, who does end up killing off save. But yeah, another successful team fight for BetBoom. That was a 4-for-2 trade.
I like the positioning out from NAVI Junior. I like the fact that they wanted to take that fight first. You had Got the Juice really hanging inside of that staircase, giving the vision to take the engagement. It's just, it doesn't break open the way you'd want. You do manage to burst down GPK, but you had to remember, they still had Doom on the side of BetBoom. They didn't have Pures take the front line. He still had Enrage to play with. Even without the Global Silence, the Doom alone is a menace to kind of play into that. And if you're not jumping the backline here, if you're not hunting down save, the stall out in the death of GPK with the escape pack, it just ensured you had that angle in for Miero and for Pure, because you had to expend a little bit more time, a little bit more of your resources here to just take care of that Tiny who popped a lot of commitment and just didn't die fast enough for you to clean up there.
Well, they're eventually still going to get the Tormentor anyway. I mean, it's slow, and Zayats might actually die for this. He'll heal himself up. He's going to be okay. He'll get the shards as well. Very, very nice for the Coddle. And BetBoom, they say screw the Tormentor. We want Roshan, which I tend to agree with. I think that's a good choice.
You've got that blink timing up. You take the other map objective off the board, and now you've got to deal with 2 lives on Pure, which it doesn't feel like you're really fully set up to do just yet in NAVI. You don't really have the big source of damage yet. Like, having this Chrysalis up on Got the Juice is a nice start. In fact, he's bypassing the Axe just to go for the BKB, which I do appreciate. Like, he has to be online earlier. He has to have some way of saving himself from, say, the Avalanche Toss and some of these Silencer spells as well. So this is going to allow some greater fight presence out for NAVI Junior. It's just a matter of, will it be enough? Are you going to be doing enough without the side gunner? Are you fine without the extra stats, alt stats that the Axe does provide for you? And so far, it doesn't feel like Got the Juice is tanky enough to dish out the damage he has. It's just a little bit too slow. BetBoom, they go for their own smoke out. Same thing goes for NAVI Junior across the map. Could be an interesting smoke on smoke scenario. However, you are limited by having that tier 1 standing here from BetBoom, so your angles are cut off for the side of NAVI Junior.
NAVI, they're going to wrap around. They barely avoid BetBoom here in that Radiant jungle, rather. Could be a very awkward fight as well. I mean, they're fighting against an Aegis on Pure. They can't deal with him anyway without the Aegis, let alone with it. Oh, and not Got the Juice. In this case, not the Juice jump. Not the Juice this time. Oh, do they get the hits? Oh, they do. Oh. Pure with the basher. First hit bash. Of course he does. That's a big kill. Got the Juice. I mean, he's the guy you're relying on to carry you through this game as NAVI Junior, but he has fallen well and truly behind now on that gyro. Here we go for more. Niku caught. Global stance to ensure nobody's interfering. And again, Pure on this Ursa just proving to be absolutely uncontestable.
And he's just way too much.
Zayats.
He's way too big. Oh.
They hit him with the Impalement Arts. He's being chased, but it looks like he's going to be okay.
Barely enough, but how do you deal with Pure, right? Like, he's 4K ahead in terms of net worth. He's above everyone else. He's got his shard that he could buy out as well. If not, maybe something like the BKB if he so wishes. And with that Basher, like, you can't, we're not at the point where you're kiting him around. You know, you don't have something like the Will-O-Wisp yet from Zayats. The Pit of Malice is nice, but you've got the stat res to back you up here on Pure. If he does manage to pop his ulti, he is going for his full Axe instead. To have that little Enrage whenever he, to have Enrage up every single time if he is caught off guard. And you're at 7K behind now on NAVI Junior. Like, again, we saw some good moments in the lane. This all stems back to that top lane weakness. You know, if PMA and Zayat's not really having anything to do, and just bled over, right? Like, PMA had to eat stacks, you didn't have that flash acceleration farm for Got the Juice or for Niku. Niku tries to make these plays across the map. He doesn't have enough damage to kind of melt heroes down. His support duo is maybe sometimes a little bit too far behind. They haven't been connecting in the space here for the side of NAVI Junior. And for BetBoom, they don't even need to be concerned about global ganks. We haven't seen that really align for NAVI Junior in any way just yet. Maybe this time with a smoke, they can get a fight going their way.
They've got Pure. Pure's nearby. Again, 2 lives though on the Ursa. I think he just man up. We'll see. Pure, he's going to go for a run for now. More heroes incoming. They'll lock him down with the Pit of Malice. Pure, still running. Here comes the cavalry, though. They'll get the first life. Miero's in. Doom is out. They've caught the gyrocopter with that Doom, so it seems like Got the Juice just needs to run out of here. In comes Pure again with his secondary life, though. Global Silence now committed here by Kataomi. Pure dropping a little bit low, looking to get the hell out of there, but the Pit of Malice is going to lock him down again. Can they kill Pure? He's got Enrage again in 1. He'll have another chance to come back into this fight, and it looks like they're going another time. Pure is going to jump in now into Niku, but he's taking way too much damage. Pure needs a way out. Escape back is there. Can he get away? He's still running. Surely they can kill him. Oh, he still runs. That's unfortunate, John.
And it is.
And you know what's worse? He's going to have the Ags up in 400 gold. So, like, if you can't kill him now, once he's got the Ags up, how are you going to kill him?
You just don't. And it's down to the fact that they're able to jump Pure, but the backline's still there. Kataomi with a Solar Crest, that little movement speed you get from the Shine it's kind of stupid how fast this Ursa can go with a phase boots up as well. It's impossible to chase him down. And that's really the kicker here for NAVI Junior. Your jump potential is only really onto 1. The spacing from BetBoom has been very disciplined. They keep their backline protected. GPK is willing to jump in to keep that spacing open. And if you can't catch the back, if you can't stop these Solar Crests from coming through, tame the beast while you're trying to chase down a melee target, then you don't have clean options here for Navi. At the least, you don't lose too much off of that fight either. You did expend some BKB charges here, especially on Got the Juice, but you didn't really bleed back to the side of BetBoom, but that felt like the cleanest opportunity they had to finally get some gold back their way in breaking that pinata of Pure open, and it's just not there. Like you mentioned, Mike, full ags up now for Pure, Shard to come next, and they are setting up True to Gate, trying to hunt down Bot. Niku would be a very juicy target. They did manage to get the jump. They don't have the forward vision to spot him out, though. And the scan is good from the side of NAVI Junior, so at the least they'll be able to dodge that one out, but they have to find some way to play it into these map objectives. The next tormentor is going to be something you still want to keep securing for NAVI Junior. You might want to keep track of Roshan. Minute 50 until we start to find out what timer that will be. And it just doesn't feel like you can even afford to do that in NAVI Junior. Your wards, you had some aggressive wards. There's still that one watching the bot pits. You did see them walk by on the side of BetBoom, but not much else to speak of in terms of vision. And sure, the same thing goes for BetBoom, but they're running across the map anyhow. It doesn't even feel like the vision's necessary. Might lead to some cleaner kills if they did have some forward wards that weren't cleared out, but let's see.
NAVI Junior, they're still hanging directly south of the map. Just hoping that they can perhaps take a fight underneath their own vision, but they don't. I mean, GPK's still hanging around. Maybe they can hope to try and aim this Tiny down. But he is going to blink away. It's kind of the thing, like, even with this global kind of strategy, like, you've got to be able to react super quickly. Because nobody from BetBoom's giving the opportunities away here to NAVI Junior for free.
No. Like, they're so patient inside of BetBoom, just kind of testing if anyone would overstep. They were finding some good hiding spots for GPK. Only Mira was showing under the wards. And with Spirit Form down, it's going to be maybe a little bit annoying to get into the next fight. Not the longest cooldown in the world, fortunately. And they are in a position to maybe establish some control nearby the Tormentor if they want to set up for whenever it does respawn. BetBoom, though, just set to go for another smoke themselves. GS is ready to go here on Kataomi. He's got 14 int without his shard, which is kind of insane. He's had to be active around 14 kills to get that done.
Here we go. They're heading down towards the bottom right corner of the map now, but BetBoom. Oh, they're going to see got the juice first. That's the one target you really want. And they've got him very freely. Zayat wasn't quite in position to break that smoke, and well, now poor old Zayat's also going to get caught. They feel comfort down to this bottom side of the map because they've got so much vision on NAVI Junior's end of things, but they've also got a pretty sneaky ward here from BetBoom that has not been scouted out yet. And that's what's giving the info over to BetBoom to head over to this area every time.
And there's just a hard ward to spot out on that cliff. You need to get some daytime vision out just to see it. And they've still got the opportunity to play here.
They do. PMA, he's had a rough time. He'll run, but obviously, Jonathan, there isn't really much in the way of running from this situation. BetBoom, I mean, it's a pretty dominant game for them so far. 11k advantage their way. NAVI Junior desperately still trying to get back to a stage where they can really contest. We got the juice. He's farming, John. It's just he's still 6k behind Pure, and as we've seen from Pure, like, he's not really afraid of anything anymore. This Ursa, he's just doing everything at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the itemization from NAVI Junior. I think these AVULUS will help to just kind of keep that Ursa up in the air. Stat res doesn't affect the Cyclone, so that is one way to kind of try to kite out Pure. Pure will just solo take Tormentor now by himself, as he is capable of, although he's not. Kind of needs Enrage to be back up, so not gonna have it just yet, but he'll have it soon, you know. 4 seconds, yeah, he'll just go back, do it for the team, or not.
We got Scan.
Okay, Scan is there.
Well, he's alright. He's retreating for now. It doesn't seem like NAVI Junior are gonna quite make it there in time to actually think about going after Pure, and because Pure are gonna TP back towards his team, so NAVI Junior will have the opportunity now to swipe away that Tormentor. mind you, they would probably be under vision. And so BetBoom, they saw Zayat's run underneath the observer ward by that Tormentor. So they know that they can go for a free Roshan. They know they're doing the Tormentor right now. We saw this earlier. Like, it's way worth it just to go for Roshan instead. Who cares about a free shards?
Yeah. I mean, it's still a decent chunk of gold as well with a free shard up, but it's just not enough to change the state of the game. You would have wanted a freebie, I guess, for BetBoom. You know, again, get the shard going in Kataomi, see how high that brain drain can go, but not necessary. Again, you have no shard, you have 16 brain drain stacks, which is just kind of insane because it's only 1 per kill now. So it's a ton. You've got the Octarine up for GPK, more uptime in the Avalanche toss, and more HP to play with. So a lot tankier again on this Tiny, which you do like to see, as I don't think you've got the damage to even can deal with him at the moment. You're going for the full butterfly on Got the Juice, so could be a nice spike for him if he manages to find a farm along the Ags being completed now. Just a little bit more output and stats to play with. 11k advantage for BetBoom is still significant at around 30 minutes in. But again, most of that is on Pure.
Speaking of Pure, John, full Abyssal Blade completed now on Pure. Smoke situation going on here. BetBoom. Smoke broken for GPK. He's going to find himself a 2-for-1 special. Global Silence unnecessary, but was committed. And I think with these two supports down, you can at least try to force these buybacks. And that's look like the... Oh, back, never mind the buybacks. They're going for more kills. PMA. I mean, they miss out on the gyrocopter, but they'll find something just as good. And I think you're either buying back or you're watching 2 Raxes go down if you're NAVI Junior.
You don't have many choices. You at least know Doom and Global Silence is down. There is a play here for Na'Vi if they want to try, but whether or not they even have the damage on Got the Juice, probably not. Just gonna have to watch as their mid falls, top set to fall as well. They've got the Roche banner to protect these. They'll try for a smoke, but I don't see the angles. We'll see if they've managed to work something out.
Pure is alone. They could try for the first life, and that they will, but it's only Niku that's jumped in so far. Pure just abusing that enrage to not even lose his first life, as now the Will of Wonder has been dropped. GPK just tossing up the DK, and Niku is down. Pure, he has been put to sleep with the Echo Stomp. The impact, the escape act is there from Pure, avoiding everything being thrown out by NAVI Junior. Pure looking to maybe go back in and give up that first life, but he will not yet. So at least they only lose 1 Rax. They do lose 2 T3 towers plus a middle Rax. But at least it's not 2 Rax.
Yeah, it could be worse, I guess. Silver linings here for the side of NAVI Junior. Unfortunately, BetBoom does still have that Aegis. Still 2 minutes left, and...
But how did that Avalanche even miss? How did that Avalanche even miss? That's what...
Yeah,
I'm very confused about that.
It happens sometimes, Mikey, you know? It just does. Beta game sometimes. Sometimes you just don't throw it in the right way. You know, GPK trying for that gambit one more time, but again, you still have a minute and a half on the Aegis. Pure could still just run up like a maniac after clearing this tier 2 bot. And your options for NAVI Junior, it's not that clean. You do have the full nullifier up on Niku, so you can take care of some of the 4 stabs, take care of some of the Solar Crest usage here from the side of BetBoom to save. It's just a matter of catching someone out. Again, for NAVI Junior, this play with Coddle Underlord has not really amounted to anything. We've not seen any big Fiend's Gate that leads into a huge amount of success. We've not seen really any sort of recall ganks or even just a spell spam. That synergy with, say, abilities isn't really there, because you don't really have something like the Ember, the Storm, or even like the Kunkka to kind of play with deliver cooldowns. Although,
Jump in. They are going to go for the fight. Pure not really concerned at all. Again, he still has 2 lives available here to play with, and PMA is in the middle of nowhere right now on the Underlord. Still 40 seconds for that Aegis to expire. Plenty of time to get through this bottom racks. See if they do buy back on PMA. He does have the Fiend's Gate. They'll jump in onto Pure, but Pure, he's perfectly fine for now. It's actually Niku that's copying too much damage, and he's down. They did commit the buyback on PMA, but Pure's running directly towards him. He wants it. He wants the dive back, but is he going to jump in again? Peter Malice to lock him down. Looks like he will enrage out of there. But you've got 40 seconds without a DK. I think BetBoom should feel pretty confident to continue.
That they should. No Aegis on Pure does mean no hard resets. No GS as well to kind of break this fight apart, but how do you stop this?
GPK, found a great target in Zayats. You want to get rid of that keeper of the line. Just so pesky and trying to push. Zayats will buy back immediately. Miero jumping in. GPK is there with another toss back. This time PMA might be dying back, but he actually gets away. The tree throw not going to be enough. Onto GPK, get the juice will go, or got the juice rather, but got the juice now in danger as well as he's being jumped by Pure. He's down. Buyback immediately here by the gyrocopter. Pure's going to look to retreat. Peter Malice to lock him down a little bit, and the chase will be on. But BetBoom, I think they're just going to kite out until they have this enrage back up for Pure. In fact, never mind even the enrage. They're just jumping back in. Miero, has he gone too far? The escape deck will save his life once again. Meanwhile, Pure taking down Zayats and Riddies. Both supports are down. Triple kill for Pure. GPK in with a huge avalanche on the 3 targets. They found the juice. Pure looking for perhaps a rampage in this game 1. Got the juice is gone. That's an ultra. He's looking for that rampage. PMA trying to run, but Pure surely has him. And he does. Rampage for Pure. He will die in the end. Save trying to get away. It looks like he might make it out. And thankfully for NAVI Junior, John, they still have 2 Raxes up.
That they do. BetBoom kind of go a little bit crazy, jumping in the back, wanting to get the end game going by getting a couple of diebacks. Unfortunately, again, they didn't quite have coverage. They didn't have Global Silence ready to go there. They didn't have Doom for the re-engage. And they might overextend just a tad bit. You're still in a really ugly position for the side of NAVI Junior. That's 2 diebacks you had on hand. But you kill off Pure to 1 time at the least. There's some gold injection that does flow out off of that. It's just not enough to even out the game. 9-32. 24k lead for BetBoom still up. And unlike yesterday, that is not the team fight that turns the game just yet, Mike. You know, you're not in the danger zone yet for BetBoom. They will have to start to secure objectives if possible on NAVI Junior. Just start to set some vision around a river. Maybe try to ensure Roshan doesn't go away for free. They do have good fights in tight spots here, right? Like you've got Elder Titan, you've got the secondary strikes call down from Got the Juice. If you can line that up, they can fight somewhere in the pit. It's just they don't really have information in the area. And getting the consolation prize in Tormentor just isn't enough to even out, especially with what Pure does with that secondary life, with that safety net. We'll see if they can start to set up for something like that. They do manage to get at least 1 ward out, although that was spotted out with by Save as they do have that gem. They're not going to clear it out fully just yet, but he will eventually just remove the vision. And for the side of NAVI Junior, I mean, at this point, I'm not sure how you try to simplify this. I would actually say if PMA can kind of work into an Ags and you can start to surprise them with a Pit of Malice Fiend's Gate, kind of staggering out, that could be one way to kind of try to get some control in the team fights. Just having a lot of area denial to stop the 4 stabs from being too effective. It's just, it's a pipe dream right now, considering how rough this game has been for PMA. He's not at the point where you can even consider something like an Agnims on your Underlord. And just the 1 Pit of Malice alone hasn't been enough, especially if Niku isn't around with Nullifier. Like, you Pit of Malice, they get 4 stab, and that's it. You can't do anything. Like, this Nullifier has to do so much. It has to remove... It has to remove the escape act, it has to stop the 4 stabs, and there's only 1 Niku. You know, there's only the 1 Nullifier you have on hand. So, to deal with these saves, you've got to time it just right here on the side of NAVI Junior.
I bet you do. They might actually find Pure. Niku's going to run directly to Miero first. Miero, he'll take a stun. He's got help around him, though. This looks like a bad fight for NAVI Junior. BetBoom, they don't know whether they want to really commit here, but it seems like they've decided they will. Miero's still going after Riddies now, but Riddies does retreat. Here comes GPK looking for a toss back. Riddies finally going down. Global Silence committed now, and this is looking really bad for NAVI. Pure's in. Got the juice, is not looking healthy. He's down. GG's called. They've seen enough. There's no buybacks left. There's no defending. And BetBoom, I can't say very surprisingly, John, they will take game 1.
Theoretical, it's hypothetically, very humble. You know, it's just that he's playing Husker.
Silence, fool.
I was busy, John.
That's not a me problem, that's a you problem, mate.
Silence, fool.
As far as I'm concerned, he's an egotistical kid, John. That's as far as I know. And here we go. I mean, he's playing
You just throw that around. You just go around saying this guy's egotistical. You really lost your marbles, Mikey. What?
This poor teenager's just playing the game, and the cast is already picking on him. Oh.
Yeah, this like 19-year-old kid's getting trashed by a 34-year-old. What's going on, Mike? This 16-year-old kid, beg pardon. The 16-year-old kid's getting bummed out by someone 2 times his age.
I like Niku, John, is what I'm trying. I love the kid. He's my favorite.
Called him an egotistical kid.
So am I, John.
That's not a compliment.
It's a compliment.
No, you're a maniac. That's not a compliment. What do you mean? I've never heard such things. This crowd is so weird.
They were spotted with that smoke break on Miro. NAVI Junior, they are hanging around. They do seem like they want to go for a level 1 team fight. Got the juice and Niku, going to be spotted. Save will blinding light them away, and a very nice deny from Save. And it's gonna be a 1-for-2 trade anyway. So in the end, you do still come out on top if you are NAVI Junior for these bounty runes. So nothing really of value being lost here for NAVI.
Right. Gonna be keen on seeing how the lanes break out. Of course, we are taking a gander on our mid with GPK up against the egotistical Niku. Playing the Husker into the Viper. I'm not letting this go, Mikey. He's egotistical now. That's the storyline. This is what we've done. We're calling a 16-year-old egotistical on his first land. And so far, the ego is not taking this well, Mikey.
Oh, Niku.
He is trying to heal up. Ooh.
Niku, get that ego in check, Niku. Be careful.
Level 1 Berserker's Blood, man. He can't even go for the spears because he's up against Viper. It's allowing him to survive, but good lord, this is not a good feeling. Like, yeah, GPK is copying it too, but you know, he's having fun, spitting away, and this is going to be the roughest, the most interesting and probably the rougher lane to watch out for. Niku will have to put the work in. The first 2 levels will suck. Level 3 might start to get a little bit better. And GPK as well has to kind of balance out, watch his range away from burning spears. One too many spears can be problematic as well for the Viper. But this is the issue. If either lane loses out by a big margin, both heroes are terrible playing from behind. Maybe the Viper less so, as he can farm the jungle, especially with that poison burst. But it's not going to be great for the Husker to have to kind of sit back and jungle. He can get that done, but it could stall your timings if you're not too careful. The armlet is going to be key for Niku to have some presence in the game along with that blink. And so far, it's he's keeping up in the CS at the very least. That's the most important bit, but he's going to have to watch that spacing every single time.
He will. How are the side lanes going? It seems like bottom lane Zayat's PMA, they're having a decent old time this time. Kana, Omi, and Pure, of course, are going to be against them. This lane could go rather south as well, though. I mean, let's be fair. You know, things could go south pretty quick against a CM Monkey King for PMA and Zayats. I imagine Zayats will probably have to opt for an early level and escape act in this kind of lane. But for now, things are going pretty well.
And it is. You're still finding some farm on PMA. Of course, he always has the Cinder Brew to throw out. He doesn't have a way of igniting it yet. No Thunderclap ready,
Niku.
as he is so.
Niku, he's running. Fairy Fire will be enough to save him. He's fine.
He is, but every time he walks into that lane, he cops poison attack, and he's not comfy. And again, this is not the Husker you tend to see. You see Huskers crushing lane. You see them take control early on. He's forced to go 2 levels in Berserker's Blood to, again, just try to sustain through the lane. But it's not enough to apply pressure onto GBK. Again, he's keeping up in CS. It's an important bit here for the Husker. Starting to gain some confidence to throw out a couple of burning spears, but still have to watch yourself with a poison burst overall. And again, as long as he finds farm, I think you're happy. Just don't die. You don't have the pressure to kill. Just work your lane and build up. They're still kind of doing quite nicely down bot as the pressure's there onto PMA. Pure, I mean, he's got a really strong kill lane here.
Yeah, he's got Zayats, a nice easy pickoff. In fact, now they'll turn their attention onto PMA, but they have no follow-up spells to throw out, so he's going to be okay on the Brewmaster. But a concerning start already. First blood going to the Monkey King of Pure. Not exactly what you want to see. Meanwhile, top lane, Miero getting chased, but also doing a hell of a lot of damage to Got the Juice. So Got the Juice not feeling confident to try and move in for a blink strike into a kill. Will be okay to survive.
Now this is the one lane that NAVI Junior theoretically should be having a better time. Of course, Got the Juice is getting Axe down, and this is an early laning combo that we talked about as well. Like Chakra plus Axes is pretty damn big. Miero can just keep spamming out. He's not reliant on boars, so the Stifling Dagger doesn't really save you from the aggression there. Down bot though, Yarson to apply that pressure again onto PMA.
It's against an MK though. PMA, I believe, was the one trying to be aggressive in that scenario, Jonathan. Zayats. He's going to try to run with the Orb of Corrosion slow, proving to be a bit too much. And Zayats, at least he's not going to give the kill to Pure. They both go Karaomi's way. I suppose that's the one bright side here. Meanwhile, mid lane, Niku. What did I tell you, John? What have I told you about this kid? You need the ego if you're going to win. That's how I won, John. I'm an egotistical bastard myself.
I don't know how Ego wins. He throws his spears. He's got level 5, which is a strong point. Again, I like the build. He's adapted nicely. Berserker's Blood,
Save.
level 3.
Oh, save shook Jonathan. He dies from a neutral creep. He's seeing Niku find that kill. Meanwhile, Got the Juice in danger. Miero is going to pick him off. Reddy's in trouble as well. Miero, I mean, it's such a bitter kind of scenario. Like the neutrals kill save, and then Miero cleans up the other two. How annoying is that if you're Na'Vi?
Very annoying. Not something that you want to see. He's getting the pull as well to clear out these creeps and the camp, getting all of the farm that he'd want here. I'm wondering if Miero will opt for the Dominator or the Ags build-up. Ags could be very impactful if he finds the farm for it. You've got room now to help contest into the 6-minute rune as they catch out Zayats.
That they do. Zayats. Looks like he is just set to fall. That'll be another kill for Karaomi on the CM of all people. He's now on a killing spree on that Crystal Maiden. So 6-1 now in the favor of BetBoom. Surprisingly enough, the only lane that hasn't really panned out the way you would have anticipated is GPK's lane. He's the only guy that's on the side of BetBoom that's lost his lane here up against Niku.
I mean, it's still against a Husker. I think you're not losing as hard as you'd expect up against a Husker lane because of how much GPK can poke back. Again, the facet choice and the skill choices of Niku have made that lane manageable. He's got the Cauterize for the Berserk Blood active to Dispel, so you can always toss away the poison attack stacks if need be and just regen back to health and manage that way. Level 6 is up though with Break.
Well, they're going to try the Break, making it very hard for him to survive. Escape back is out from Zayats, buying a bit of time. Niku trying, does go down though. In fact, there goes Zayats. You will lose GPK at the very least, so there is some form of a trade. But not a very good trade as Karaomi ends up with another double kill. Karaomi currently 5-0-1 apparently on this Crystal Maiden. As bottom, Pure's now made the jump in onto PMA. PMA's trying to man up for the Shrine of Wisdom. He's got help incoming from Riddies, but Pure is not retreating. Finally will do so. Will jump back in, but it's already too late. PMA will get the Shrine. He'll move on to Riddies instead. Can Pure survive this? More TPs incoming. Pure needs one more for the Jingu. He'll run the other way. PMA's on the chase. Has a Cinder Brew. One. Doesn't have it in time though. And he's gonna survive. And for whatever reason, Got the Juice gets tipped. What did he do?
He gets tipped because he showed up. He TP'd bot to try to help that kill. Now he's not farming top. He's not in that build-up he'd want. He's nowhere near Battle Fury. Heck, he's still working towards at least brown boots first and full power treads before anything else can happen. And it's just a waste of time. Pure understands what he's done, the damage he's done economically to just drag that down. Not that you'd want to lane into Miero anyhow, considering how far ahead he is. Level 7 now on that Beastmaster, top in that Wort. Rushing the Ags, as you'd expect here. It gets scary now for the side of Na'Vi. Like, yeah, you know, mid lane did win to an extent. Niku didn't really crush the Viper. I think if you're a Husker and you don't manage to really completely destroy your mid lane matchup, it's still not the best of times for the hero. You really need to have this complete shutout on mid. And again, against Viper, that's hard to see. Down bot again onto PMA.
They are trying. The evasion's proving to be a little bit annoying here for Pure. Oh, he misses the boundless too. He misses the boundless. He's still going though with the Jingu just needing to hit. The evasion's still so annoying. PMA, how lucky can you get? Not lucky enough by the looks of it. The chase continues. PMA still alive. Primal Spring in. Pure gets it. Niku also died across the map in the meantime. Meanwhile, Pure still going for more. Probably going to catch Zayats. It's Karaomi. Karaomi. 6th kill of the game. Karaomi 6-0-2 on the CM.
Crystal Maiden needs a nerf, man. That's why Axe is dunking on her in our graphics here. You know, CM's got to go. She's too strong, Mikey. GPK.
Speaking of too strong, Niku trying to move on to GPK does get him. Here comes Save. Not sure what his idea was here, John. Save will run. So they do catch off GPK. Bottom lane, PMA again being chased here by Pure.
Silence, fool.
He's going to be okay this time, though. He does make it out.
Yeah, Kataomi gets a little bit frisky, lets off the freezing field. Don't manage to fully lock in PMA into that area. But it got free room now for Pure to just clear this bot tier 1, although he is hungrier for more kills, but no one's coming in. And be able to, again, get the map opened up. I'm surprised how much space Miero's getting. This is kind of too much space. Like, he's free farming top, he's shoving in wave, no one's coming into contest, one part away from the full Ags. That's a scary timing for this Beastmaster. Tie that in with Save eventually getting the levels for the Spirit Form, for the recalls to come in. The Axe spam that can come out from Miero, the damage that can go through is, it's overwhelming. So, again, I'm a little bit surprised they're allowing so much to come out. They do get the wards down now from Ridis to watch that area top, but this is the point where Miero is now leaving top to clear stacks anyhow. So the timing just doesn't pan out. 11-3 start, BetBoom, and in control of game number 1. 6K lead at 10 minutes in is kind of ridiculous. It's kind of coming down to how poorly farmed PMA is as they're trying on just poking and prodding, getting breakout on Niku. That's a lot of damage without the Berserker's blood working, so something to watch out for. And it drags 3 heroes mid. Both supports have to watch Niku. Side lanes are opened again. They're trying to bank on this Husker, give him a game, but with how badly ruined your side lanes are, how greatly farmed BetBoom is across these two cores, I don't think the trade-off has been worth it at all.
Not so far, it hasn't. Smoke up, they're going to try and rotate. Pure is here to break the smoke, and this could be very awkward for Niku and Zayats. They're going to try and fight anyway, moving in onto the CM, but they're going to lose Zayats. Niku unable to chase Pure. At least won't go down himself. So just the 1-for-1 of the supports, which probably does end up favoring the side of Na'Vi anyway. But here comes the counter smoke once again from BetBoom, looking to move in another time. Riddy's caught. Niku actually got rooted by the creeps there for a second, but he is running. Not fast enough though, because they've caught him with that Viper strike, and Niku is dead.
I mean, you asked for the Prowlers back. That's a consequence, Mike. They're back. Niku's not enjoying that one.
I never said I was disappointed about it, John. Never said that.
I didn't say you were. I said you wanted them back. This is what you asked for. And now your egoist mid is suffering because of what you want. Your compliments to Niku are certainly not helping the cause for the poor 16-year-old, you 34-year-old bully.
Niku's gonna look back at this and be like, you know, that idiot caster, I'm gonna make him swallow his words one day. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna look back and be like, this guy, I'm gonna make him real excited about me one day. And I meant every word I said, John. I love this kid. He's my favorite already.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's again, I love the interview, and he played really well in game 1. They tried to go all in here in game 2. It's not quite panning out. He is top net for his team. He does have the armlet up. He's going to get the blink up relatively soon, so he can start to try to assassinate heroes on sides, but it does feel like the window is shifting away for Na'Vi. Even this timing on PMA, he's trying to rush to Radiance. He is barely ahead of Kataomi in terms of net worth. When your offlane is matching a CM's farm, man, it's not good, to say the least, Mikey. Not good.
Not good if you're Ice Frog, John, because you're gonna have to find a way to nerf this damn hero. I think this Crystal Maiden. Just sickening. Miero now, I mean, he has the Aegis up on the Beastmaster. Like, we really haven't seen too much action from Miero apart from that laning stage, but as you can see, Jonathan, he's been free farming the whole game. When he's playing Beastmaster and you give him this much farm, it tends to be a pretty bad time for the enemy. And I believe that he'll probably just want to go soon. Like, he has the blink up now with the Aghanim Scepter. He might just want to start solo killing people at this point.
Yeah, certainly a possibility for him. He's got the output for it. Just needs to find a target. Inside of Navi, you don't really have play. I mean, maybe he could try with a split. The Radiance is going to help. Once PMA finds the gold for it, still a ways off from that one. And the side of BetBoom, I mean, they just play across the map. They've got really good forward vision. They can just run around. They do get the roar and freebie.
And Niku will go down. Miero just going in for a quick roar and just letting the drums do the work. Into the mid-tier 2 tower now they will go. And PMA's here, but he's already been spotted by Miero. And, well, for BetBoom, naturally, they're just going to group up here. There's no real reason to not start chipping away at these tier 2s as Pure. Going to find Zayats. Zayats able to get away, though. He's okay. Global Silence committed. They're going to move in. They're after GPK. Keep in mind, the Aegis is still up on Miero. He's going to try and TP out of there and does make it. GPK, however, will not, and Zayats will get a tip from GPK.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Yeah, it's an important kill to find. They do manage to whip him down and keep him locked in. But no GS now. Pure's still ready to go.
He is. He's going to drop the Wukong's command, and Niku... Well, it is pretty hard to armlet toggle in that Wukong's. So he will end up going down anyway, and Pure going to find a very nice trade for his side. And mind you, they don't have the Beastmaster with them, so the chances are that the T2 tower is not going to be forced in, but they're going to just hunt for more heroes or even just take over the triangle. PMA is going to hang around and see if he can do something about it. But I don't think he really wants to run into Pure at the moment. And it seems like we're going to go for a free shot.
Yeah. Go for that Tormentor. Maybe get lucky and get it onto save. Get those 2 recall stacks up. Have fun. Get the chakra going every single time. Oh, it actually goes to Kataomi. Unfortunate for save. Poor guy. No double recall. Instead, the overpowered Crystal Maiden gets her Crystal Clone. There you go. Needs a nerf, Mike. Shouldn't have a shard. She's too strong as it is.
I agree. In fact, the shards should be what gives her movement speed, John. You know, she starts at 0, she gets like 50 with the shards. That'd be the way to do it. Here we go. They'll move in now. Roar out immediately from Miero and got the juice. My goodness. It's looking pretty dry for him at the moment, I'll tell you what. PMA going to move in. Miero, meanwhile, just cleaning up. Niku just going down so quickly to Miero, and PMA is just unable to do anything to save Zayats here as PMA is losing his own Brewlings in the meantime.
They call it.
GG well played. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
The game's well and truly over. They tried to run the Husker. Props to them, but sadly, BetBoom again. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the world here, John. There's no shame in losing to a team like BetBoom.
Yeah, there's no shame, but it does hurt a lot for NAVI Junior here in our Swiss groups. Of course, that means they've only got one last chance as they do go 0-2. So it's a little bit rough for them to